Hey there, beautiful day out here today. It's funny because a couple was walking toward me a little while ago, and they were pushing the baby stroller, and they said hi, and I said hi. Terrible weather we're having, isn't it? And they both started laughing. So that's your basis of humor right there, the unexpected. But anyway, I've spoken before about words obscuring reality. And just to add to that a little bit, I've noticed lately I've encountered some people who are rather bookish, One guy, and of course, it's not that I asked, they just started talking and went into all this, and one guy has a library of 170 feet of books about, the Greeks and Latin and things like that. And of course, in my humble view, the Greeks are basically where things really started to deteriorate for mankind. People look at it as progress, but it's basically unleashed a big mess. So anyway, but I'm noticing a common thread with people who are bookish, spend a lot of time reading, immersed in the world of words, is that they are not very aware of what's going on in this world. They don't seem to be. So they can just start talking and talking, and don't really do much listening. And, it's not too surprising because that's what's going on in their heads. Now, there's a guy, Borges, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, George Louis Borges, South American author, who I saw a quote from him the other day on a sign outside a public library, where he basically said that heaven or paradise to him is not a garden, but it's a library. And not a strange perspective for someone who is so immersed in words, but truth be told, being trapped in a building with a bunch of people's basically verbal diarrhea, mental diarrhea, is a hell. But it can only appear as a heaven if that's the world that you live in. So just like the Garden of Eden idea, well, it's not an idea because that's where indigenous people live, basically. And I've mentioned before about the Lakota, who have no nouns in their language. And people are flabbergasted by that. It's like, how can they possibly communicate? How can they, exist without naming things? It's like, well, they don't need to. They observe processes. And so, observing processes, being aware, that is awareness. So when you run into a bookish person and all they do is talk and they don't listen, they are not aware of any processes, the process of communication between you, the conversation, what you might be feeling, what you might be experiencing. All that vanishes and it's all up here. So anyway, I don't need to add too much more, words to it. But life is about a process. It's not about putting names on things. And putting names on things interferes with perception. So just as in nature, the universe doesn't use words. The sun doesn't say, I'm the sun. Plants, trees, birds, they don't say, I'm a bird. We all do that. So how can it be that everything can exist without words? Now, to be fair a little bit, it may be that animals have some sort of very simplistic language, basic communication, bird songs, or it may even be more sophisticated, like whale songs, which we don't understand, but is obviously highly complex. And but anyway, they don't take it to a point where it gets in the way, where they're overloaded with verbiage. And even with dogs, and I think chimpanzees can be trained to understand a vocabulary of hundreds, if not thousands of different words. But of course, that's us doing the training, basically. So anyway, are books good or are books bad? It's funny about books because where we are now, bookstores are disappearing. Used books are being thrown away these days. No one's saving them. And it's all turning to the internet. And the internet, in a way, is just sort of a very abbreviated amalgamation of a whole lot of thoughts and words and language communication type stuff. So anyway, I'll leave it there.